Hello, Star Wars fans! You know, there's just 117 days until Christmas 2022. Oh my goodness, I've seen some of your chat already, and want to call out Mike Porter for introducing that song to me. The intro song that we have, Mike Porter hit me up with that probably a year ago or more. And I've been working to get that incorporated into the intro. So thank you for that, Mike. I absolutely love it. It gets me excited every time. And I see Chillmonger as well. I see the title. I'm bewildered. Oh, then the title did its job. Thank you for being here. And I've got my friend Jason Ward with us this morning.
So that's all I could ever hear from the song at the end. I just hear bump, 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 bump. In my head.
That's great. That's great. And I love that song. But we've got some interesting. This morning I was thinking about topics for today, and kind of rehashing some other stuff. And
so who would win in a fight? Nien or Admiral Akbar? I decided that's the show topic. Who is it? Who would win?
I'm going Admiral Akbar.
Akbar.
He's got the height advantage. He's got a longer reach.
Yeah. Stinks like fish. All right, you win. Well, show's done. Thanks, everyone. We settled it.
So, but Star Wars delivered. It gave us some news to talk about this morning, and a lot of it comes from Empire Online, which is they're kind of previewing one of their stories that's coming up in an upcoming article or their upcoming issue, and with that, then there's all kinds of excitement for fans and haters of The Last Jedi. So we are going to talk about that a good bit. So before we do that, I think we could maybe knock out a couple of smaller stories, and then spend some time talking about this Rian Johnson story and the Empire Online. And then I told you just before we came on, I'll let folks know, we're going to take a little bit of a look at the end of the Making the Last Jedi documentary. There's some good content in there, whether you are a fan or a hater of The Last Jedi. There's some good stuff at the end of that I think everybody will enjoy. Some of it, some folks may not, but there's one piece I'm confident in. So we could do that. I thought we'd maybe start with this whole thing on the Bad Batch season 2. So this cracks me up because the direct says Bad Batch season 2 update puts release date confusion to rest.
But then we looked into it today, and it ain't happening. I'm convinced. I went and found the original link for the Australian site today, and it's gone.
It's gone. Yeah, so that's what seems to be the thing that solved all the confusion. Disney Plus Australia posted, and that's what they talk about here. It says confusion about the release date for the Bad Batch has finally been cleared up. Except it hasn't.
It went straight up to Paul Hogan's desk, Crocodile Dundee himself, and he said, "Cut it, mate." And they did. They said it's not true.
They did. Yeah, it's not true. It can't be. It says the full release can be read below from Disney Plus Australia. It says it cleared up any confusion. Completely cleared up. The Bad Batch season 2 available to stream on Disney Plus from 28 September. And then it gives the little blurb. Not only that, but somebody posted on the Twitter sphere, that old Twitter machine, that, hey, I have a question about your products here, which I thought was a weird way to question it. But anyway.
I'm a customer and it's a product and I'm always right. Right. I'm the authenticator.
Exactly.
That's my new guy. I say if something's authentic or not, just so you guys know.
Yeah, they went to see the customer service rep and said, "Hey, I don't see the Bad Batch season 2 listed. It used to be there, and now it's not. Can you answer this? And some CSR went online and did the clickety, and it came up 28 September, and they said, sure, it's coming out on 28 September. And you're like, great, there's confirmation. And then Disney Plus Australia comes up with this, and seemed to double confirm what the CSR said. And then, lo and behold, this morning, this also came from yesterday, but it says from IndieWire, everything coming to Disney Plus in September. I'm like, oh, let's see if IndieWire has it. And so you just go down. I always jump down to just the list. So September 1st, we get episode 3 of The She-Hulk. And then September 2nd, we get some NFL, blah, blah, blah. We're still looking for Bad Batch. No. September 7th. No. High School
Just Control
Musical.
F, Santa. Just Control F.
Yeah, I know. I'm just going to.
I know, but I'm come on.
So, September 28th, the 9th, the 14th. We know the 21st right here. We get the Andor series premiere.
It's called Ander. If you
Ander.
listen to the trailers, you would know how to say it correctly.
That's true.
Ander.
I keep unintentionally missing.
Cassie and Ander.
Ander.
Cassie and Ander. What are you want to steal some stuff from me, Cassie and Ander? It's like, dude, come on, man. Up an octave, bud. No one can hear you anyway.
I love it. Though. And then September 22nd, the next night, we get to She-Hulk episode 6. I know that's what our good friends here are here to see. No, they're actually not.
Nikki,
then,
it's Andois. Sorry.
Andres. Cassio Ander.
Cassio.
Keyboard special.
It turns out he was like this like new wave guy, and he's like, hey, I ain't got time for rebellion. I'm here to just make art.
And then here we go, September 28th. This is where you would be looking for the Bad Batch season 2.
Yeah.
And it's mysteriously missing. But we do get Ander episode 4. And then the following night, I think, maybe they're just going to shift it a night or two. They'll go to Thursday or Friday so that you don't have Star Wars, 2 releases the same night. That'd be great. So you look on Thursday. Nope, we get She-Hulk episode 7. And then you go to Friday, Hocus Pocus 25th anniversary.
Oh, wow! Oh, sorry.
Hocus Pocus 2.
Sorry. I don't get it. I just don't get it. That movie came out and everybody hated it. And now I'm not like it's a classic. I don't get it. But I'm sorry. But yeah, I like witchy women, so I go with it. Oh, I love that movie. Let's watch it at your place.
Yeah. My oldest daughter loves it. It
became a thing.
At this point,
it became a thing.
It's got some nostalgia to it too. I reckon. So, in any event,
sorry, Ducky.
I saw these articles coming out yesterday, and the tweets and all that. I'm like, I don't trust the CSR, the customer service rep. Don't trust them. Don't do it. They'll mislead you
because they're a proletariat class. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm just joking.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So I think that I just let's hold on. Let's see. Well, we shall see here soon enough. And then
hey, what the heck, Meg? I'm here too. Come on. Rude.
Yeah, it's like coming into the room and just walking right past.
Just looking right past me.
And saying hi to the other spouse, right? Like, so.
But when they see you in your wedding dress today, they're gonna know. I'm gonna understand why. Who's gonna notice me when you're in that dress?
Oh no! Why did you bring that up? Why did you bring that up?
They gotta see it. They gotta see it, Santa.
Jacob.
Mm-hmm. Oh man. Star Wars Greg at it again.
This is Jason's uglier twin, Jacob. No.
Yeah, he's the good looking one, actually. Son of a bitch. She said legit was a mistake. Meg, just go home. You're drunk.
Her iPhone just likes to substitute words randomly, and we love it. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
See, you want to know what your chat's going to look like this afternoon?
Jacob.
There's a preview.
Jacob Banth. That's my new name.
So anyway, I think that we have pretty good confirmation now that no, the Bad Batch isn't going to release on the 28th.
Do you think we're going to see it this year? Because I don't. It doesn't seem like if you really want it to happen, I feel like you could make up some weird scenario, but it doesn't look like it's hitting.
Yeah.
And the last question I have for you, because you're a product guy, you're a product man, a man of the product. Do they are there any Bad Batch things coming for the Christmas season? Is there a real reason to get it out to help the licensees at all? Because that's the real, I think, kind of issue that could be at hand if there was one, and if there's not really a lot of stuff coming or really anything significant coming. I remember seeing packages. Remember there was like a weird package thing and they had like the same character on it twice. Was that for the new season or was that old packaging? I can't remember now.
I think that was old.
That was old.
Yeah. If I'm thinking of the same thing, but I am pretty sure that it's September's off the table, not the 29th or the 30th either.
Yeah.
And now it'll be at earliest October, but I think that's highly unlikely as well. My earliest bet at all, I don't even start to put any odds on it until we get mid-November as Andor is concluding. That's my earliest. But as we were talking about just before, Tales of the Jedi might slip in there before that. And then I could see if they do Tales of the Jedi like they did with the Visions and drop the whole season. I could see coming out in early December with the Bad Batch, bridging over to early January, and then go with Mandalorian season 3.
Yeah.
In like February, right? So I could see it fitting in there, but that's who knows. And this is I saw somebody post on Twitter like, look, Disney is a multi-billion-dollar company, and Disney Plus is one of their leading revenue sources by some measures. And we can't get them to figure out how to do scheduling, right? Or communicate scheduling. Now Disney Plus Day is just around the corner, right? September 6th or 8th? My head. So it's coming early September. Perhaps we'll get an actual September release schedule on Disney Plus Day in September. Just makes me crazy.
Yeah,
makes me crazy.
It's really, I mean, it really isn't in their best interests at the end of the day for us to have clear communication on that stuff, because we're talking about it. And if they were clear, we wouldn't be talking about it. And we also, when it does hit, it's gonna be like, oh, well, we finally got to have a release date. It'll be like a big thing now. I don't even think it's on purpose necessarily. I just think that they just know that just by letting fans do what they do, it's probably in their best interest until they just are ready to talk or ready to say what it is. But it is really strange though, because the first release date was like ambiguous. Was it just were they saying spring? Fall? I mean fall. Yeah, fall. And then like that was it. And then clearly it's not going to make the fall now, and they're not clarifying that whatsoever.
Yeah, and I went out just as we were coming, or doing a pre-show. I went out to Disney's website and searched for the Bad Batch season 2, and they still on Disney.com still have the banner that says coming fall 2022.
Free shipping on the wrecker, Meg.
It's just a mess. I don't think. Anyhow, it's not September.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm not buying it. Not buying it at all.
Yeah.
So, in other news, and I can already tell what you're going to make me do. So let me just go ahead and get it out of the way.
Yeah.
Because a horrible
Here
thing happened this morning.
Comes the Santa. Here comes the Santa.
We got
all dressed in white. Not her. Not if you know her like I do.
We got a preview of Leia's wedding dress this morning. And as they were designing the dress, they need somebody to body double so they can get all the pins right and get the dimensions right. So there you go. Disney.
Yeah. Looks good. Looks good.
Leia's new wedding dress. There it is.
I told you the beard would hide the cleavage, so you wouldn't feel like a hussy. I told you it looked good.
That's it. It's just so much wrong. So much wrong. Quentin, I almost choked on my coffee.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So
I've never actually though truly seen more of a stupid Star Wars story in variety in my entire life. Can I just say this is so dumb? This is the dumbest thing that has ever happened in the history of Star Wars. Today's the anniversary of Ewoks blinking, in case people forgot. Yeah, I remember the real anniversaries. And here we are, 11 years later.
Dale, I just broke into a sweat. Oh my goodness. Oh, I've got to hold on. No, this, yeah, I think this is the most useless whatever. But look, it's not my thing. It's not my thing.
Whose thing is it though?
I don't know. Look, people care. Not me. I don't know.
People.
Look,
I don't know. Are these people who care? Like I don't know. Are these is this like the weird crossover of Star Wars fans who care when it's like the anniversary of the death of Princess Diana or when like the Queen's Jubilee Part 3 happens or something? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's really stupid.
Here's the question. Yes. Here's the question. How many of these will you see at celebrations going forward or cons?
Too many if I see one.
I'll guarantee you there's more than one. I'll guarantee you there's more than one. And just in case you wanted to see the back, there you go.
Hey, look at that junk in that trunk, Leia. All right, baby.
I do
take it.
Look, the design as a whole, it's fine. It's whatever. I don't know.
It reminds me of the dress. I mean, from memory, it's probably not even like it at all. But the one that the girl from Labyrinth wears when she goes out to LARP by herself, like a big loser, before she wishes her little brother away to the Goblin City. Has those kind of vibes going on it.
I like the quote I saw this morning on Discord where Ducky Momo said, "How many people did the Ewoks have to kill to make that dress?"
Mm-hmm.
That's the question. That's what we all need to know.
It should have been made out of Gorax leather. That's what it should have been made out of, if you ask me.
Look. There, Kay gets it. Pretty fancy for an Ewok village,
Yeah.
It's just not my thing. I'm sure there are people who absolutely love, this kind of fiction.
I think it's a mythical thing that you're talking about. That person. Yes. I mean, there's always some weirdo who's like, "Oh yeah, I bought the wrecker from DisneyPlus.com." You know,
Well,
there's
and then
always
there's the weirdos that do this.
that.
Oh my goodness!
Nikki,
Yeah,
were you excited? Were you excited for Leia's dress?
I was
Did it?
not. I was
No, no,
actually
no,
like,
not Saint Nikki. I'm just trying to figure out who. I don't know who cares. I mean, I'm not saying we shouldn't talk about it because it was in Variety. It's like of note. So I'm not like saying like we're dumb for talking about it. I'm just like, this is we can't get a freaking Bad Batch release date, but you're gonna show me a Leia's fake wedding dress from a book that's not gonna be on TV. I don't know. It's weird to me. I'm
it
really
is.
confused on that one.
It is, and X-Wing's not wrong. This isn't going to stop Hasbro from doing 47 different repaints of Leia wearing this dress.
Yeah.
Right? It's happening any time now.
Will they do that? Will they make that figure of something that wasn't on screen? Do you think, or it'll be like a Celebration exclusive? Like here's your Leia dress.
I would highly doubt it, but I never put anything beyond Hasbro because who knows? But if and this is what Baymax is saying, like they won't because new tooling. If they already have a dress figure, with the same body proportions, that they may very well have, like it could be a Scarlet Witch or something else, right? That has that same sort of basic design. Then it's just a repaint and putting the Leia head on that figure. They could throw it together, no problem. But I just don't know that they will. I think it's unlikely they would, but it's just funny. And
let me ask you this, Anna. How does that dress look on the Halcyon? Oh, it doesn't look good either. Because don't they probably go right from there to their honeymoon to make a little Kylo Ren? Because they didn't do it till they were married.
Right. Look, it's not.
Trust me, Han Solo was going to take it for a test drive before he married it.
Well, and trust this too, that people who book their cruises on the Halcyon you will see cosplay of this dress. You will. It's happening.
Yeah, no, but my joke is that it doesn't look good there. In my mind, they don't go together. It's weird.
It's happening. Somebody's going to actually get married on the Halcyon. It's going to happen. You know it. Like there are people all the time who get married, like in Taco Bell or whatever. Somebody's going to do it.
Yeah.
They get married in aisle 14 at Walmart. It'll happen. I have no doubt. And and one of the spouses will be wearing that dress, if not both. Just,
Oh yeah, well, no, that will definitely be a thing now because it'll be like, oh, we're having a Star Wars wedding, and then that's our only reference besides Padme's little like thing. Man, I like me some Natalie Portman, but that wedding dress was pretty dopey, George Lucas. That was some like Little House on the Prairie looking stuff. Like her wedding dress, it was like you could just tell George Lucas has some weird ideas about what's on. Like, what is that? What is this, George? What are you doing? Like, look at all of Padme's outfits. Like, she's like, I'm a space clown. I'm a space dominatrix. And then she's like, this is my wedding dress. It was like the most subtle thing out of anything she ever wore in her life. It's weird.
Do you think there's a wedding at Dexter's Diner? I'm sure of it. Look.
Obi-Wan Satine's secret wedding we're going to learn about in the next season of Tales of the Jedi.
Yeah. What kind of Walmarts and Taco Bells are you going to? I just see it. I see it it comes up on my Google feed. I don't know.
Yeah.
So anyway, look, for folks that care about that stuff, it's there. And I guess it's relevant for today because it was a Variety exclusive release today. So covering Star Wars news, there you go. We've talked about it far too long. The thing that everybody's here, the reason people are here today is they want us that our clickbait title absolutely did the job. It got people here to find out if I really meant to call Santa or Ryan Johnson a proud boy. Well, he's a boy, and he's proud of the Last Jedi, right? So that he's a proud boy, right? No, see, get it? It's a clickbait. That's what it is. That's
proud man.
That's what it is.
Oh, hey, Don. Thank you for coming in and acknowledging me as well as Santa. I appreciate Don's manners.
Well, Dawn just doesn't know that it's not Jason here today. It's Jacob. Jacob is standing in for Jason today.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Jason's busy. He's taking the kids to school, so Jacob came here.
Jacob hates wedding dresses. Hates them.
Oh my goodness. So let's take a look at this article from Empire Online. And this is, just to be clear, this isn't the full article. This is just a preview. Yeah, I get you guys. I look, the Proud Boys thing. It's a play on words. It's a play on words. It's not to be associated with the actual white supremacist Proud Boys. Not them. He's proud. He's a proud papa. He's a proud director. He's proud of his work. That's what it says. He's even more proud of Star Wars: The Last Jedi 5 years on. And this is an exclusive. So in this article, preview article that only has part of the story in it, we can take a look here and see. It says, feels like a line of dialogue that feels particularly apt. It's one spoken by Luke Skywalker. This is not going to go the way you think. Writer and director Rian Johnson's middle chapter was a rich, adventurous, mythical tale, continuing the stories of Rey, Kylo, Finn, and Poe, that also dug deep into the soul of Luke Skywalker himself, decades after the triumphant finale of the Return of the Jedi.
Meg Ryan was the one in the Kylo Ren mask, no shirt, wearing a baby diaper, doing the Running Man. That was him. Sorry, go on. She didn't see Matt Pride. I saw Matt Pride.
Yeah. Hi. It had all kinds of surprises, developing the threads of The Force Awakens in fresh and unexpected ways. Your expectations were subverted. That people love to say that. You have to say that if you talk about The Last Jedi and Rian Johnson. If you have that discussion and you don't include the word subverted, then what are you doing? Right? You've got to you have to know all the key words.
But like I always say, but he brought it back to the expectation by the end. That's always the part that knee-jerk fan reactions leave off. Yes. Is that, well, I think he's this, and it's like, so did Ryan. He exactly brought Luke right to where you thought he should be.
100%.
You guys agree. You just don't pay attention long enough.
Look, I agree with you. But we'll get to that in the next bit that
year or two.
Here, right? No, we'll get to it a little bit here. It says along the way, the surprises. It also challenged its audience in ways that some weren't quite prepared for at the time. Well, I still think that many are not prepared for even today. Right? There are people who are still challenged with what The Last Jedi brought to the table. This is in a major new Empire interview. Rian Johnson looks back on The Last Jedi for its 5th anniversary. Reflecting on a few years' distance on these episodes in the Skywalker saga, I'm even more proud of it 5 years on. When I was up at bat, I really swung at the ball. And then he goes on and says, I think it's impossible for any of us to approach Star Wars without thinking about it as a myth that we were raised with, and how that myth, that story, baked itself into us and affected us. The ultimate intent was not to strip away. And I said, that's another one, right? That people like to quote is the stuff from Kylo Ren saying, you have to let the past die to move on, right? They take that. It's
Wait,
part
you
of
mean the bad guy wasn't telling us the point of the story and the one with the moral high ground in it? What?
right?
If you follow stories that way and you listen to the bad guy, you need to just refocus everything in your life and go, whoa, I'm not right. I'm listening to the wrong people. It's true though. It's like a thing. It's like, but once again, if you stick to the end, Rose Tico totally tells you, but I know that some people are like, I don't listen to anything she says.
Well, I keep bringing up the point at the end. The kids are playing with the Luke Skywalker action figure, and he is the hero of the story.
Yeah.
He is the thing that the kids are retelling. It's his story they're retelling, and how heroic he was. He took on the entire First Order, and they've got the little action figures down there. They've got the thing set up, right? The kids playing with the toys and telling the story, and the story is that Luke Skywalker is the big hero. That's what he was going for. It says so the ultimate intent wasn't to strip away. The intent was to get the basic fundamental power of myth. Ultimately, I hope the film is an affirmation of the power of myth of Star Wars in our lives. And it says that extends to its controversial depiction of Luke Skywalker as a hermit who's closed himself off from the Force, having sensed darkness in his nephew Ben Solo and accidentally pushed him further towards the dark side. Right? We were like, it's attempted murder. He tried to kill his son or his nephew. No, he didn't try to kill his nephew. He contemplated it, and it was a
moment of weakness. He said
a moment of weakness. Exactly. So, but as much as Luke begins the film in a very different place when we left him at the Return of the Jedi, over the course of The Last Jedi, ending in his death and birth of a new Skywalker legend. Right? That's him, not Rey. Right? Rey Skywalker. Look, I'm all for that. But the new Skywalker legend, as I mentioned, are the kids playing with the figure and telling the story of Luke Skywalker. He is the legend. He is the hero.
Tamiri Blagg, toy collector.
Yes. He is the galactic symbol of hope and rebellion once more. Luke Skywalker is, right? Like, that's the message that I took away at the end of it. I know a lot of people didn't, but it's the one that I took away.
No, Santa, that I love you, dude, but that is not your takeaway. That is the takeaway. If anybody didn't, they refused to read the subtext of the film. That's literally the point of the film. Just because they don't accept it, they don't get to say, I don't accept it, therefore that's not the intent or what the film is saying. It's literally what the film is saying. You are right, 100%. Don't give credence to man babies that Rian Johnson called you guys 5 years ago. Sorry, I'm kidding, but it is true though. You can not like it, but that was the point. That's literally what it's saying.
Shut it, Jacob.
Okay.
Meg, we're not going to let that one go today. Maybe tomorrow, but not today. It says the final images of the movie to me are not deconstructing the myth of Luke Skywalker, as some people have liked to point out, like the deconstruction trope. He wasn't intending to deconstruct the myth of Luke Skywalker. They're building it. And they're him embracing it. Right? They're him absolutely defying the notion of throw away the past.
Like
so here he's addressing this directly, right?
Yeah.
He's absolutely defying the notion of throw away the past. He's embracing what actually matters about his myth and what's going to inspire the next generation. So for me, the process of stripping away is always in the interest of getting to something essential that really matters. It could be described in The Last Jedi himself. So then read the full interview in their article coming up. Pay for a subscription, give us your money, and look forward to the next episode. Well, I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to I am going to look for the rest of the story to come out. But as I was reading this, I remembered the documentary that came along with the Blu-ray of The Last Jedi. And when I watched it, what I took away from that, and I went out and I found it on Disney Plus, and I thought it would be a good time with reading that article to see what Rian Johnson had to say during the filming of and the making of this documentary, and to see if his story is changing, what he thought about it at the time, and just for fun, I retweeted the Empire article this morning with a question about, I wonder what Mark Hamill thinks of the movie and the portrayal of Luke Skywalker 5 years after the fact, right? And people have taken Mark Hamill's tweets and done all kinds of things with them to fit their narratives, and Mark Hamill's tweets have he's put some controversial statements out there that folks use to within the fandom use to beat each other with.
But what they do is they don't take his full paragraph, his full conversation, the point of it. They take, oh man, I was totally like, what the hell are you doing, Rian Johnson? And then they go, see, he agrees with me. I got the sentence. And then he's like, but then I went on the journey and I read the whole script and I was like, wow, this is a transformative experience. It'll be something like that. They just, it's so disingenuous. I'm just saying, you cannot like it, but you don't got to be a liar on top of it. You don't got to be disingenuous. Mark Hamill was into it.
Yeah, there are people who make their revenue by stoking those flames, and by purposely doing this kind of thing, right? So, look, I understand what they're doing, and I don't enjoy that grift. It's something I try to avoid because it's not healthy for me, and it's not healthy for my enjoyment of Star Wars. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's not my thing.
Yeah.
So I want to play this and we'll talk about it. Hopefully you guys can hear it as it goes on. I think I've got the audio shared. In fact, just to make sure, I'm going to go ahead and stop that. And then I'm going to go in. I'm going to, I hit the
lights out.
I'm going to hit this again, and I'm going to see if I can share the audio. Oh, I see what I got to do. Okay. I'm going to share the audio so that we can talk about this as it plays, because Rian Johnson has some interesting things. And look, I understand we have several folks, good friends in the chat who are not fans of The Last Jedi. Please bear with me, because at the end of this documentary,
you're going to love The Last Jedi, and you're going to want to watch it all the time.
You may not want to watch this documentary, but you will want to watch the last, say, 5 minutes of it. And that's if you are a fan of The Last Jedi or not, if you're a fan of Star Wars or not. The last, say, 5 minutes or 6 minutes of this documentary is a powerful tribute to Mark and Carrie, and it's worth watching. So we'll do that as well as we make our way through the last 11 and a half minutes of this documentary. And the first up is Rian Johnson explaining the story of Luke Skywalker as it comes in here. So let's see. Let me know if you guys can hear it or not. Okay, thank you.
I'm going to make them sorry they ever came up with that.
Hear me too.
Dang it.
Weaver.
Is it still doing it?
I think so.
Okay, I'm going to stop the sharing. Let me do this. Okay, now.
Okay. Now it's
better.
Now it's good.
Okay. All right. So when we play, when I share the screen, we've got to let it play, and then I'll stop, and then we'll do it this way. That way the echo is not there. All right. So go ahead.
No, my whole point was that I think he's being performative right there. And I have seen that quote in that moment used. I'm going to make him sorry they ever did, like that whole thing, and it's like, that's not real. Reality TV's not real. When this camera's on, I'm not acting how I act when I go to pick up my kids for school, or my Frosted Flakes at the table. like you're different when the camera's on. He is there too. That was literally him ad-libbing for the documentary. And oh, that was good, Mark. For a fact, that's exactly how that went down. And I'm not saying it's not good. It's not like the intent and the moment. The moment was probably does go and do the scene right then. So there is some authenticity to it in the sense that they are making a movie while making the documentary.
Yeah, and let's be clear what his intent was with the movie. Now, people can argue about things like this, like did he execute on the intent? But part of the narrative about Rian Johnson is that he purposely came in to divide the fandom and subvert expectations. And what they're using are some quotes of Rian Johnson from when he was a younger filmmaker, talking in different contexts about a different movie, a different project. And then they're applying it on top of The Last Jedi because they didn't like it. And they're saying, oh, look, he purposely made this movie to divide the fandom and to subvert our expectations. That's not what he's saying. That's not what he's saying. He's saying that he did this to make Luke Skywalker the hero for a new generation and to accept his mantle, right? So let's get back into it and let it play for a little bit more, and we'll pick back up again.
That's good.
When it happens, yeah. This is the same. At the beginning of this documentary, Carrie's like, yeah, he's a jerk, right? But if you want to watch the whole documentary, but Rian genuinely loves Star Wars, and the thing about his respect for Mark Hamill as well, you can tell that he is speaking of Mark in fond terms. They didn't have an adversarial relationship. It wasn't, a fight every day on set. And there's another part of this coming up that shows that as well. So
I don't think he ever got to the point where he thought, okay, I understand why Luke has to go at the end of this. But he was completely devoted to making what I had written the most powerful version it can possibly be on the screen. I'll always be dazzled by the fact that he had the generosity of spirit to do that, and always feel like I really, really owe him for that. I don't take that lightly.
all right, let me hide that again.
The sad piano just makes me really laugh. Like Brian's like, yeah, I'm gonna talk with my vocal fry. I'm gonna get the sad piano in. I'm so grateful. It's just, they really are hamming it up. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, but when it comes to that whole Carrie thing, if Carrie had really thought Rian Johnson was an asshole, there would be some epic rants that would have gone on and comedy bits about it if that was the case.
Yeah, and at the end of that quote section where she says that, she says, "Oh, he's got some flaws. I don't know what they are, but he's got flaws." Right? So, it's pretty good. I skipped ahead a little bit because there was a little scene where Rian sits down with Mark and says, "Do you want to know what the title of the movie is?" I tell you, but you can't tell anybody. It's tightly held secret. And Mark agrees to it, and he tells him it's The Last Jedi. And Mark says, "Oh, I love it. It's perfect. It's wonderful." So that's part of that. But then here's Mark Hamill's take on his disapproval of how Luke was treated in the script and his attitude towards Rian Johnson. And this is something that I picked up on when. Well, first of all, I picked up on what Rian Johnson said about this is Luke Skywalker becoming a hero for a new generation. This is Luke Skywalker accepting his mantle and becoming that hero. But this is really good, and this is, I think, what people need to hear more of right here. It just shows some silliness going on.
And I don't buy it for one second. Not the fact that he was like, lead me guru. I think their idea backfired. they were trying to make this media narrative like for like the talk show kind of thing. Oh my God, I was so against it, but now that everybody loves it, can you believe it? Oh my God, I'm on board because I went to the Entertainment Weekly Mark Hamill showing of Return of the Jedi. It was supposed to be Mark, Carrie, and Harrison, but Harrison didn't show up, so Carrie didn't come, and it was just Mark Hamill because he's cool. And in it, he's like, I am telling them I don't want to do lightsaber fighting. I don't want to get serious about lightsaber fighting in this one. He's like, it's so much work. He's like, I got it. And basically, like, alluded to the fact that he was just trying to lose weight. He didn't want to lose weight and lightsaber train at the same time. And so he's like, maybe it'd be cool if I was like a wizard or I had like power. There was some way where the new person can do all that stuff and I don't have to. And then and I'm like, so the whole time, like I kind of knew like he doesn't want to do it. He's not going to be that Luke. Like he's saying, I don't want to be that Luke. They're doing story meetings, and he's Mark Hamill is going to the story meeting saying, I don't want to be that Luke. He said he had a story meeting next week about it at that time. And that was where his head was. But then he gets Rian's script and he's like, oh, what is this? I don't have the lightsaber the whole time. What? Right. I mean, it's not real. I'm sorry. I just do not believe it. It just does not track. This tracks like reality TV to me still.
And perhaps it is. And Mark plays troll. He plays troll to the public all the time.
He's fun. But he's actually as cool as Carrie. He's just really good at being like chill about it. I don't say he's into drugs and stuff. I just mean he's like, he's a bit more rock and roll.
And as I was mentioning earlier, there's lots of tweets where he's saying, look, I take back what I said publicly. Rian Johnson gave us a fantastic movie, right? He gave us a wonderful Star Wars movie, and then there's quotes the opposite of that, right? You can find anything to support your argument, and something I don't really want to bring into our discussion too much today, but fans beating each other with Mark Hamill tweets, because he does troll fans, and he has played both sides of that enough that fans can find whatever they want and construct
poke the Ewok
narrative.
Poke the Ewok.
they
blink now. 11 years.
Whatever narrative they want to come up with, right? Mm-hmm. Meg. Yeah, every positive Last Jedi video gets ratioed, right? And I understand, right? I do, but I think that a lot of people believe the narrative that Rian Johnson purposely divided fans and that he purposely, subverted expectations to meet his own agenda rather than a true fan of Star Wars who wanted to create an everlasting kind of legacy for Luke Skywalker. That's what he was going for. Now,
yep, I have a Last Jedi shirt. Whenever I wear it in a video or in a photo that ends up on the internet, there will be that guy. Right? In real life, wear that shirt all the time. That shirt's old and stinky, but nobody's ever said anything about it. People only talk about Star Wars with me whenever I have that thing on. There's such a difference between like this reality of like the small percentage of fans on the internet and general consumers. It's very, but at the same time, if you're like a content creator like us or Meg especially, it's a different game because that's who you're dealing with.
Yeah, and I highlight X-Wing's comment here, and X-Wing and I are planning to do a show together soon. We're just waiting on his friend over in Portugal to ship the thing that he bought, but that has not happened yet.
Is it the wrecker?
No. It's he's been very, very generous. He had a custom vintage collection scale blurg made for me.
What?
And he's having that shit sent to me. It's fantastic. I'm super excited, but it's also been delayed, and the guy's, giving him a bit of a runaround. But so we hope that it does show up. But this is a conversation that I want to have with X-Wing about this, right? Toxic fans need to understand some people don't like the Luke they got, and toxic negative fans need to stop ripping on people who did enjoy it. Yeah, I was telling Jason earlier. I keep using this analogy of a pineapple pizza, right? Like there are people who love it, there are people who hate it, and there are some people who will deny that it's actually real pizza. The Last Jedi is like pineapple pizza for some people, right? There are people who love it, there are people who hate it, and there are people who deny that it's real Star Wars, right? Like it's the same from that kind of analogy standpoint. So I think it's a we need to quit bashing each other. Look, if you loved it, then you should be allowed to love it. If you didn't, and you want to express why you didn't, you should be allowed to have those opinions. But if you're just a jerk and a troll on either side of that, you should hush. I think we're all tired of it.
This is my Padawan braid. Like it?
That's so good. So good. Hey, Meg, with a £5 super chat. The ire that amountest from the Jedi of last. Oh, I see. I've got to get into Old English here. Old English speak. Oh, the ire that amountest from the Jedi of last. Such a thing to divide. Are we but eggs? Oh, how one does spout quite the absurd quantity of spunk. Did I manage that okay?
I think so.
I'm not a theater thespian, so you know.
Yeah,
A bit of a
you big old Thesbo. You did a good job.
So I'm looking forward to reading the full article, and I think if people would just try to be fair and try to see what they were going for, then we can have honest conversations. Did he actually achieve the thing, right?
Well, have you ever had somebody like think you're the best, and you're like, whoa, you're making me feel like I have imposter syndrome kind of situation? Like, or like, whether it's sports or just music or whatever it happens to be, you're like, whoa, like there's like a person in there kind of thing. And that's what Luke is like literally dealing with in those moments where he's like, I'm a person. That is actually, I think, one of the coolest things about that movie is that Luke is like, I'm a man, but I'm a icon to these other people, and these other people need that now. They don't need me and my problems. My problems are like mine, and he kind of like at the end owns it and goes like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do and it's kind of cool that he went there to commit suicide, which I think should have been in the film a bit more pronounced, but then in the end actually sacrifices himself through there. In the end, it's like he it just shows how backwards everything for him was. He was going there through the Force to cease to exist in that way physically.
Yeah.
But he misunderstood everything so hard, and then but he comes around, and that's the interesting thing to me anyway.
And I think that's consistent with Luke's character as well. Again, this is my own interpretation of it, and I get people who don't follow my logic here and think I'm doing too much mental gymnastics, but Luke had a basic misunderstanding of what was how the light and dark interact against each other. That with more light, there's more dark. With more dark, there's more light. And that he saw his nephew becoming more and more dark. And he felt that he was the pull to create more dark. So he cut himself off from the Force to remove the pull.
Yeah.
Right? And so by removing himself from the equation, his understanding was that would cap the negative that Kylo could ever become. And then, or Ben, right? Ben could ever become. But then along comes Daisy, right? Or along comes Rey, and she's powerful light, and it scares him, and he realizes his fundamental kind of understanding was wrong. Go back to Return of the Jedi or Empire Strikes Back, when he's having his lessons with Yoda, and Yoda keeps saying, "You're a knucklehead, right? You don't get it." and that happens over and over again, and Luke kind of jumps to conclusions, or he uses presumptuous information to come to a conclusion, and he's wrong. He's wrong, and he keeps getting corrected on his wrongness.
Yeah. Well, it's also like that's one of the actual, like, when one of the things, and not to go down this path necessarily, but blah 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 didn't understand the point of blah blah blah. That's like a thing that we will always hear in Star Wars, like fandom or whatever. But one of the points of Star Wars is always the new generation rectifying the problems of the past generation. And if the past generation does everything right, there's no Star Wars. There's nothing to do after that if everything is perfect every single time. So like Luke finds himself in a similar place to Yoda and Obi-Wan, because it was the hubris of their order, of their era, that led to them living on Dagobah and Tatooine. And Luke has his hubris too. He does. He believes his own BS, and then and that's when he goes and is about to kill his nephew, because he thinks, I'm the one who has to. I have to do every single thing, whether his nephew went light or dark. At the end of the day, that wasn't going to be his fight, and he was trying to insert himself into it and made things, exacerbated the situation. I should say, put it that way. And I don't know. I think it's a really thoughtful layout to get to the same place, which is whether Luke was being the guy we saw in The Mandalorian for 30 seconds or not. You end up having the same end game, where Luke cannot do Rey's job by the end of that trilogy. If Luke does it, then Rey is just not a character. Sure, she has no character. Her at the end of the day, Luke doesn't go to the Emperor with, Yoda, Obi-Wan, Luke, Leia, Han, R2, and 3PO, and all of his friends. He has to go it alone. That's the way it's done if you're going to do monomyth kind of stuff. And so we end up with a situation where there was have to be a reason that Luke couldn't go. And just knowing that right there, it puts us into a place where that argument was always going to pop up. How could it not? Because you were always going to end up in a place where Luke can't show up. Jay explained, out. But right? I mean, it does though. I mean, it's the eventuality of it. You can make that same blanket argument just becomes true no matter what the layout is, because those things always have to happen in order for Rey to go on her here. I mean, if Rey and Luke show up together and then Luke dies and then Rey lives, then now she's a Mary Sue, and it's a face is melting,
Well, I understand that. And I've experienced this so many times in my life where people will get a different message from watching the same content, and we're not all on the same wavelength. We don't all resonate with the same tunes, right? So there's things that one person will get and say, "Wow, that was really deep," and the message was really powerful. And you see that a lot of times in artwork, right? You got a banana nailed to a white wall. They're like, "Oh, that's really deep." I'm like, "No, that's a banana nailed to a white wall, right?" It's stupid, but look, different people can.
Oh yes, commenting on the IMF extracting capital from banana republics. I see what it's saying.
Right. It's just some crazy stuff. But and so I'm willing to say, look, maybe that didn't resonate with you. You didn't pick up the same message I got. That doesn't make me smarter or somehow more evolved as a human being than somebody who didn't. It's just saying, when I watch it, this resonated with me. I caught the message, and it was something that I can resonate with. Right? I can really associate, and I can see it.
And I want to say, I respect the fact that like you could watch the movie and like be like, this movie just does not resonate with me. This movie doesn't work. My whole thing is that the prepackaged internet discourse actually doesn't make that much sense. It actually isn't that correct. When we move away from subjectivity and move into more of like, I'm going to say so the soft science of storytelling into the structure of it and look at it critically, those arguments just don't hold water in a dialectical conversation of yes, strike it, right, strike it, keep it, strike it. Like it just doesn't really hold up.
Yeah.
And I'm down. I would love to read somebody a really firm, fair criticism of that movie that deconstructs it from somebody who generally didn't like it but doesn't care about necessarily the politics of it. Like that would be interesting to me. I would love to read it. Even if I don't agree with it, I think, like I said, there is a subjectivity line, and it would be interesting to see somebody like go like, here's why it's, why it doesn't work. Ultimately, that's nothing to do with prepackaged kind of internet stuff.
I'll go into what Rob was kind of hazing you on yesterday. In you were kind of criticizing a certain scene in a movie.
Yeah, I love Rogue One, and I'm like, but there are places we can criticize it. Let's do it, and let's look at it critically. That's all I'm saying.
Rob wasn't having it, but
yeah,
I was like, come on, Rob, give him a chance. Listen to what he's saying. But I'll give you a couple examples in The Last Jedi. The one is Luke's lightsaber toss, right? So he tosses it over his shoulder and walks away. To me, that didn't like that. It was awkward. Mm-hmm. If you wanted to accomplish the same thing, to me, that would have come off better if he thrown it down the same way he did in Return of the Jedi when Palpatine wants him to strike down Vader, and he looks at Vader's hand and he looks at his hand and he's like, and he tosses it down kind of in a downward diagonal, right?
What if he like lobbed it and kicked it with his foot? No, sorry.
But if you want to have the message of him tossing it, with the whole Star Wars, it rhymes, right? Like you could have done that and accomplished the same effect that you were going for. Like he's tossing this away. This isn't the answer. Mm-hmm. And I think it would have played better to fans than the toss over the shoulder. That seemed weird to me. The other was the Leia Poppins scene, right? Everybody, when Leia's out in space, I get what you were going for, and I appreciate what you're going for. But for me, the visuals of it were a little odd, and could have been done maybe differently. I'm not a filmmaker. I'm not a producer or anything like that. I don't know how differently, but perhaps differently would have played off a little bit better, told the story a little bit better. Mm-hmm. And that's where somebody needs to say, this looks wonky to me, right? And you take a different look at it, maybe a different angle, When
I first saw the movie, that was my number one big gripe with it. But I had actually built it up in my head so much and did so much podcasting about it that when I went and saw the movie again, I was like, oh, I'm not really as bad as I had in my head. And then I kind of like was able to get a little bit past it. But yeah, I'm not a super fan of that moment either. You know what I mean? Yeah. There are things, like I said, to be critical of the Last Jedi, like the stuff with balance of the Force that comes up in it. Like, I don't really think that's what it meant. Like you know what I mean? I don't think that's what George Lucas meant about it. And so I'm not necessarily crazy about that, but
right. I want to play this end of the documentary. Okay. We'll save this for the kind of end of the stream. If we get struck, I'm just going to let this kind of play.
You can strike us down, YouTube, but we'll only become more powerful than you could possibly imagine.
This is a real risk that we take here at the end. But I wanted to have the discussion first. So if YouTube takes us down, we'll just understand this is perhaps worth your time, whether you are a fan or not a fan, as I said before, of The Last Jedi, whether you're a Star Wars fan or not a fan. This is about two human beings who have a really special moment during the filming of a scene that I think the documentary is super, super powerful with. So I'm gonna let this play, and I hope you guys enjoy this. If it cuts us off, check it out on Disney Plus. Go to The Last Jedi. But and then go into the extras, and then scroll way over until you find the documentary of the making of here. It's the director and the Jedi, and it's the last 6 minutes of the documentary. So I'm going to bring it up, and we're going to be quiet, and we're going to let this play. All right? I'll stop it there.
That was my commentary I added that made it unique so they can't strike us.
Oh, Jason.
No, it's really good. It's really good, though.
It is. And the part there that kind of tore my heart was where she says, "This is the end, isn't it?" Because Carrie and Mark are shooting that scene, and this is the end. And Carrie, this is the last time they're on set together. This is the last time Carrie's portraying Leia.
Yeah.
It's the last time these two people are going to spend time together in this role. And it's one of the last times that they get to spend together at all, right? She passed just a short time after that.
Yeah.
And that line in that context and knowing that is even more touching. And so this is why I said, like, I don't care if you're a Star Wars fan or not. When you look at Mark and Carrie and the years of working together, the decades of working together, the relationship they had, and to see them acting that out, and Carrie shedding tears, right? She was so into the role. She's such a great actress, right? That she really.
It should be also noted that they had to film her stuff twice for the Force Awakens. JJ struggled to get a performance out of her. She was rusty, but Rian got that out of her. It's a big, big, big difference. And that's one of the, in terms of like emotional resonance, he does nail it. He does get those performers to do, when you get down to it, their best performances in the entire, all of it. It doesn't mean it's your favorite movie or it's the best thing that they ever did necessarily, but it is their best performances in actuality as actors. Like the rad thing for Carrie as an artist is I think she kind of went out with her best performance.
I agree. There's another shot in here. I'm kind of going through it now, seeing if I can find it real quick, where Luke is down on his hands and knees and shooting the scene, and it's got so much emotional weight on it that at the end of shooting, Mark, here it is, I found it. I'm gonna let this play again. You guys catch this. So you can see, I mean, Mark was sobbing, right? You could see his body heaving there, and he stayed there for a while. Rian went up and kind of consoled him a little bit, and then he just he was still in that emotion, and
because he was crying about what Rian Johnson did to his character.
Jason,
that's how they sound. That's how they sound to me.
Oh, I get it. But no, I think it accentuates what you were just saying about Rian bringing out the performances. There's another shot where Daisy, the same sort of thing, right? Daisy at the end of the scene is weeping, right? She's weeping, and it just shows that Rian. Go back to some of the performances that George Lucas brought out of his actors compared. There's a difference.
I have a photo that's not out there that I can't share, but it's of Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher together, and they're filming the scene where Obi-Wan's died and Luke is supposed to look really, really sad. And when you look over at Carrie, she's like, it's the funniest picture. I wish I could share it. It's so good.
Yeah. I wish I'm seeing if I can find that scene where at the end of it she's just weeping. But it's very similar to the last two that you guys saw, but you see it with Daisy Ridley, who is just so emotional afterwards
Mm-hmm.
because he's bringing that out of them. So look, I think what I wanted to kind of point out in this, and you guys, look, I appreciate that some of you have a very bad relationship with the Last Jedi. I get it. I get it.
But
this
that's Luke
documentary-
Skywalker, or is it Rey?
This documentary is amazing. It's amazing to me. It may not give you any more appreciation for the Last Jedi, but I hope that we can kind of break down some of the narrative that Rian Johnson went in to purposely divide the fandom and to purposely subvert expectations to tell something that would.
But why does he have those red eyes then? I've seen those red. He has these beady little red eyes, and they look into your soul, and they say, "I want to ruin the Star Wars. I want to take it from you." Explain that,
Okay.
Santa Claus.
Look,
Santa
I
Man.
know. I know. It's just I hope that we can break that narrative because it's not true, right?
Yeah.
It's not true. It's one thing to criticize. Look, I don't like how, and let's say you're trying to deliver a message, and that message doesn't resonate with you. You understand what the message was, and you say that it would have resonated better had he fill in the blank, like I did. I gave those examples from The Last Jedi on purpose. The tossing of the lightsaber, or right, that would have resonated with me better. Even though I'm a big fan of The Last Jedi, it would have resonated better with me had he tossed it the same way he did in Return of the Jedi.
Oh
Would have
yeah.
felt more natural. Would have resonated with me. So those kind of criticisms, I'm absolutely fair with, right? Like, oh, he was trying to tell this, but I don't think he did it well because I could listen to those arguments all day. But it's when people just come in saying, well, he purposely wanted to,
But X-Wing says, "I want to punch Ryan because of his interactions with the fan base." No, see that was them taking one thing and then running with it. That guy stayed up at Celebration all night with us to shake every single person's hand in the overnight queue. Nobody ever did that. Like, that's just, like I said, it's definitely an optics issue, but that was created because people said some stupid shit about Kelly Marie Tran, and then he like commented on it or on that, and then they took it to mean this, and they played it into a game. I just don't think that's the case. And when Ryan was always cool with me too, like whenever I would ever ask him anything or message him or whatever, he would always send me back a thoughtful response. I just cannot for the life of me like deal with that. Even if you don't like his movies or whatever, it doesn't matter. That just simply is not really true. But once that narrative took hold, once the Fandom Menace put it through the ringer, what could you do with it? Because YouTube at the time wouldn't show anybody's videos but Fandom Menace videos. They owned the algorithm at the time, and that's what went out, and that's how it's remembered. But it's not true.
I don't think it was wise of him to say your Snoke theory sucks, right? Or to say what he did about like Mike
Steele Saunders made the fucking sticker and then gave it to Pablo Hidalgo. Pablo Hidalgo gave it to him, and then they took a picture like, oh, this is a funny thing. That wasn't him saying your Snoke theory sucks. That was him going, haha, and it was being supportive of the fans again. Like it was literally, it's not what it was. That wasn't true. That was taken by the Fandom Menace and then turned into something that it was not. I'm just serious. Like, I was there. I know exactly how it went down, and that was not authentic. In fact, I have your Snoke theory sucks sticker, and on mine, he crossed out sucks and wrote rocks and signed it. I mean, it's like, that wasn't real. That was another perversion by the Fandom Menace of the real events of that thing. He doesn't think your Snoke theory sucks. That's not him shitting on the fans and saying you're dumb. I'm the number one person he could have been saying that to. I was the one that was writing about porgs and this and that at the time. That wasn't how he was. He was completely cool with all of it. In fact, they like your theories. In fact, he probably and if you buy into he wanted to circumvent and destroy all of your stuff, he would have loved your theories because he was just going to kill the guy. So if he wanted to shock you, which is not necessarily, that's what he wanted to do in that moment. Truly, that was the point. Oh my God, you just killed Snoke. Like that was a big moment, but that wasn't true. That wasn't what that was. I remember that happening and just being like, what is going on with the world?
Yeah, I found the scene I was looking for.
Okay.
In the documentary. Again, this is, and I cut the volume out this time, so you shouldn't get the echo. We should be able to let this just play. But this is where Kylo's asked Daisy to take his hand, and right, your parents were filthy junk traders, right? After the battle in the throne room, right? This is right after it. And
practical sets.
Amazing. Yeah. Again, I hope you guys will watch the documentary, and I don't expect it to change your opinion, but on the movie itself or how well it resonates with you. But I hope that you're able to watch it and appreciate for what this is, right? But watch. Okay, so it just cut. And Rian walks up, and Daisy here is sobbing. And I cut the volume out.
Oh man, she cried. She cried like a little girl.
You can hear her in the documentary sobbing. She's again just really getting into the character. And
Jadon does not cry. Jadon never cries.
she's feeling the emotions, right? So he is bringing a performance out of Daisy Ridley, out of Mark Hamill. Well, Mark Hamill hardly needs the kind of coaching, and Carrie Fisher that I think was really, really good. And I love The Last Jedi. It's one of my top tier Star Wars movies, and I'm excited to read the entire article in its full context, and I want to see. It would be amazing if Mark Hamill would come out and give his thoughts on The Last Jedi 5 years afterwards. I don't know that he will, but boy, I would love to see where he stands on it.
I don't know if he will, because like I said, when I got the episode 9 stuff, that source told me that there was a bit of a shouting match about him ruining the marketing, the PR aim at the time. I want to ask him if it's true, but I don't know if it was true. I guess he couldn't tell me, so probably no point asking. But
yeah, that's probably true. But I would just love to see it. It would be great if there was a bit of a marketing thing that goes around now to follow up on this. But we'll see what happens over the next couple weeks. And when this full article comes out and we can read the full context of it. But I just thought this was a great documentary. It gives you some insight into where Rian Johnson's head was as he was making it. And look, I understand too, the documentary is a promotional work.
Tool.
Tool. It's used to help promote the movie. So there's certain message that they're weaving through there. But even in that, and I played part of it here, you see Mark Hamill complaining. You see him pushing back. And then they openly discuss that in the documentary. So it's not completely hidden.
Which if was real on a film set, that would be you wouldn't do that. You know what I mean though? In reality, you wouldn't do that. Not like that, not in front of the crew. Maybe in the story meetings or maybe during the reading. Yeah. But like these kinds of things make it seem like they never didn't do a reading. They just show, oh, you son of a bitch. No, that it's been weeks, months. Yeah, that since the reading. It's yeah.
Nerd Mafia, thank you for the super chat. Calm down, Jaden. Jacob, Jaden.
Well, today we know that Rian Johnson has continued to ruin Star Wars with... Oh, did I say Ryan? Cut. Ruin Johnson with laser beam eyes is back. And today he is going to make The Last Jedi Part 2. And he's going to continue to, this time, kill the ghost of Luke Skywalker.
Give it time.
It's so well done. So well done. That's good. We have
Olive Garden, when you're here, your family. Doomcock, brought to you by Olive Garden.
That'd be cool, though.
We have a benefit for our Patreon subscribers that support us on there, where you can submit what is in effect a super chat. You could do it through Patreon, and Ducky Momo has been giving us the adventures of Broom Boy. He has given us another episode of the adventures of Broom Boy, but also
Broom Boy.
Our shared good friend Meg has given us another topic here that's very, very on point. It says, Santa, in The Last Jedi, we see the Lanai, the caretakers who have been protecting Octo for centuries and across generations. Myself, as well as many others, have our own headcanon about the kinds of things they came across over the years and the sorts of Jedi they met. This, along with so many other aspects of the movie and parts of the sequels, gets me really excited. What's your advice for fans who love The Last Jedi, or any or all of the sequels, who want to share their love but are faced with a fan base that resents all mention of the sequel trilogy? Boy, oh boy. Uh-oh. Have you seen Discord, Jason? No. Have you seen what Meg said? I will share it here very soon. Very soon.
Fuck you, Meg.
I'll be sharing that very soon. It's brilliant.
You're so dumb, Meg. I love you.
I'm just glad Meg did that, but consider what Mark did to me. So,
it's fair. I asked him to do it to me, and he did it to you. So you stole my dress, you bitch. But
yeah, as you said, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Sure, you can get the bride's dress, but
maybe Wedge will ask me.
Look, my advice to fans who faced with that fan base, what it has done, and this is true, it's driven people away from social media who are fans of the sequels. I've met them in real life. They're like, hey, I tried to say things. I've encountered it myself in real life, where I'll go in and say, boy, I love this or that about The Last Jedi. The sequels are great, or whatever. And I'll try to give my reasoning. And then all I do is I meet with a solid wall of why my reasoning's wrong. Well, it's my reasoning. You don't have to agree with my reasoning, but the things that I enjoy, and you can't take away my enjoyment. Neither should you try. Right? You say, "Oh, I see where you're coming from. I think that good for you, but no, that don't work for me." That's fine. But when you tell me that my reasoning is stupid, my reasoning is it's a daunting thing to be up against, and it's one thing that I think here that Jason, Meg, myself, X-Wing, and Sheev, amongst others, with Star Wars Obsession as well, and we've got other friends here, Matt Risman, who are consistently on different platforms within YouTube, different channels, even Echo Based Network. Those guys are doing a pretty good work in there as well about not tearing people down for their own reasoning. It's my reasoning, right? Don't try to tear that down. So there's that. That's what my advice is try to find a community where you can express your thoughts without being attacked, and expect that you are going to find some that will.
My suggestion is just cuss at them a lot and say, die, 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 shut up and die, 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 die. Just say that a lot. That gets you places. I find.
Go.
Yeah, I find that works the best.
There you go. Ducky Momo, Broom Boy, Episode 6. The Return of Claus. Now, this is the first time I've read this. I haven't read it. I didn't pre-read it, so I'm trusting that Ducky didn't put any landmines in here that I. So here we go.
Hope he did. Come on, Ducky, do it, Ducky.
Thanks to some off-screen heroics, Broom Boy was captured by hired mercenary Omega. You finally have him in custody, but what to do with him? Your kind nature takes over. You decide to question him. Turns out the poor kid had been saving up every credit for years just to finally be able to purchase his own HasLab project. I love it. But first the Rancor, then the Riva Saber. It seems Broom Boy's heart couldn't take it anymore, and he blamed you since you were Santa, and it's Star Wars toys. So you decided that you would help show the true kind spirit of the fandom and want to help Broom Boy. Since Patrick owes you a favor or two from all those free holiday season deliveries, you can force him to create one big HasLab. You have to choose the ultimate project for the fandom. What will you have them make? Dun, dun, dun.
Ray blow up doll is coming. Ray blow up doll is coming. It costs $49.95. But if you get 4,000 backers, which it will, oh boy, the add-ons, you guys have no idea.
I hesitate because I have some knowledge of some things in my head that I don't want to maybe put out there that could be there. So let me think. A HasLab project, the ultimate HasLab project for the fandom. Oh, I got it. Instead of it being a HasLab figure that comes to you, it's a HasLab project that you go to. See where I'm going with this? So all the Star Wars fans pay like $450, and they take that money and they build a attraction.
A broom. You have to build your own broom. And you get to clean up the Hasbro factory with it.
They build an attraction that people can go visit. And since you are a HasLab backer, you are admitted once a year with your golden ticket that you are given as a HasLab supporter. Everybody else has to pay $120 to get in, but you are allowed to go to this attraction that is fan generated once a year for free. So that would be my HasLab project, and that would be the ultimate fan attraction, the ultimate fan attraction. Not Disney, not Universal. It's Star Wars fan driven. How about that? So here's Meg's.
It's ridiculous.
It's so good. It's so good. I love it. Nice job, Meg. All right, we have a Mike Porter dad joke, and Mike Porter took up the challenge that we had the last time, where he said it's the same question, different answer. So he said this question begs multiple dad joke answers. And the last time, do you remember what the answer was? What did Boba Fett say when he fell into a sarlacc? Do you remember his first one?
What was it?
I forget.
I don't remember.
It's this is the pits. This is the pits. That was the first one. Yeah. This is the second one. I hate your guts.
Oh.
So there you go. There you go. Mike Porter dad joke. Take two. It's got, and he's already getting some good responses on the tweet. So you guys make sure you follow Mike Porter on the Twitter sphere. So it's a good one. Yeah, Santa's a timeshare salesman now. Right. Yeah.
Still got the Padawan braid.
Yep. Still get your Padawan.
I need to get the ties. I need to put some ties on it and be like, yeah.
There you go.
Look at me. That's so ridiculous.
I think this is what we leave the stream with. We leave this.
This is Santa getting revenge for the dress and about a year of me and Mark doing that to him. I think he's happy it's not him for once. I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give it to you. I think you've earned it.
It's so good. It's so good. So thank you all for being here. I've had a great time hanging out with you and visiting with The Last Jedi and Rian Johnson in the context of this. Look, I openly admit the clickbait, that the Proud Boy reference, completely, kind of playing it loose with that, but appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
Wasn't my idea.
No, it wasn't. So you guys, thanks so much for being here. I hope you have a wonderful day. Tomorrow, just an update for those of you who are following along. Tomorrow, my dad has a surgery consult with concerning his shoulder and the shoulder replacement surgery that he needs to have. So we get that tomorrow, and then orthopedics is going to take a look at his leg, how it's healing, and see if we can get him progressing on the use of his left leg that was broken when the car hit him. So he's coming along that way. Look, my dad is still very, very weak, and I talked to him yesterday. He said, "Hey, I'm 75 years old, and I'm starting to realize it." Right. So it's taking him a long time. It's been 3 weeks since the accident, and he still can't sit up on his own. Right. He can't roll over. He can't do many things. So we appreciate your support. We appreciate all the prayers and the financial support to the family. We may have to do some more modifications to his house so he can get room to room. My brother and I are trying to work through that and figure out how to do that. So look, we appreciate all the support you guys have given us. Jason, you've been wonderful, highlighting it on your show. You don't have to do that, and I just really, really appreciate it, my friend.
I'd love to. I hope his spirits are good. That's the healing stuff's gonna take some time, but I hope his spirits are,
it's
good.
The thing we're struggling with. It is. And look, it's hard to say this, but he's been emotionally down.
Yeah.
And
I imagine.
I think that he sometimes wishes that he had been killed. Because he's that bad. Yeah. So so we'll keep praying for him. You guys appreciate all that you do for me and for this channel.
Tell him we're all rooting for him.
Sure will. Thanks, Jason. And with that, my friends, we will catch you next time. Until then, Merry Christmas, everybody.
What about me, man?
Hot dang! Talking through the news from a galaxy far away. Toys and book reviews, positivity all the way. Come and join the fun. Subscribe and like away. Movie news and show reviews. It's like Christmas every day. Oh, Star Wars Santa, Star Wars Santa, Star Wars Santa show. Oh, what fun it is to chat on the Star Wars Santa show. Oh, Star Wars Santa, Star Wars Santa, the Star Wars Santa show. Oh, what fun it is to chat on the Star Wars Santa show. Ho, 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 ho. Hot dang, ladies and gentlemen, you're in for a treat tonight on the Star Wars Santa show.